Hi everybody, good morning or good afternoon even. I'm Frédéric Dublanc. I'm the international business leader of RSC by Epoca, RSC being the B2B team of Epoca agency. And we are here to spend half an hour together with my colleague. I'm going to present you. So we're going to start with Karine.
Yeah. Thank you, first of all, for inviting me today. I'm Karine Montmarché. I'm Operational Marketing Manager at StormShield. StormShield, in few words, is a cyber security company. We offer solutions to protect network, data, and endpoint. We are around 400 people, mainly based in France, but also in Spain, in Italy, in Germany, and in Poland. And we are present in over 40 countries through our network of distributors and certified resellers.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome. Aurore?
Yes, Frédéric. I am Aurore Salmon-Anville. I'm one of the account director of RSC by Epoca. And I have the pleasure to work with and for Karine and therefore StormShield.
Great, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohamed Koumayha. I'm the lead media trader at Media Desk. It's the pole part of RSC by Epoca. I'm also handling StormShield, and I have the pleasure to meet you in person. I'm going to talk about media trading and ABM today.
Yes, okay. So thank you very much, Mohamed. So we can now start. So first of all, I'm going to just give you the four big topics, main topics we're going to have today. So the first one, I'm going to start by a small history about what ABM is, because maybe some people don't really know the topic. And then we're going to go through our main question today, which is what makes international ABM campaigns different from local ones. Then we'll go, ladies, with you in a deep dive into the StormShield use case. And we'll end the session with Mohamed with the more media activation part with a focus on LinkedIn and a couple of examples as well. So first of all, what's an ABM campaign and why? Which objective, which dispositive? So the first, let's say the first condition would be for a company to have brand awareness towards its targeted audience, main targeted audience. That's really the basic requires before starting any, having an idea of any marketing dispositif like ABM is. Then an ABM campaign runs through four steps. So the first one being to identify, select, and map special accounts, specified accounts. We'll go back to that with you afterwards. Build personalized content. Then engage and develop a relationship with the targeted audience we're looking for. And then measure and optimize. That's why I'm looking at Mohamed, because that's that's part of his thing. So what we have to know about ABM as well is that there are different types of ABM campaigns. For example, can be verticalized campaign, can be campaigns towards competitors. Maybe we'll have a little word about that one. Maybe it may be different size of campaign as well, sorry. And especially as well, we can go from one-to-one campaign, meaning really with a really short number of amounts of accounts, or one-to-many campaign, or one-to-few campaign in the middle, between 10 and 50, let's say 50 accounts, and then we get more larger ABM campaign of 50 accounts, let's say 50 to 70 accounts. So objectives can be different as well. We may conquer new accounts. We may or open a new market or develop existing accounts by upsell or cross-sell, and we're gonna come back to all this subject. So now that we know a little bit more,
We have the basics.
that we are exactly we are the basics. Let's dive a little bit deeper into it. And so I'm going to look at Karine and ask the first question, which is, how do we start? Why do we start and decide to go through an ABM campaign rather than another marketing campaign?
In fact, at Stormshield, we work for a lot of types of companies, a lot of vertical markets, but we have a specific focus on what we say critical and sensitive environments, such as, for example, industry, healthcare, and defense, for example. And this is why we work on ABM campaign, because first, you cannot respond to this kind of companies and in the same way, because the issues, cybersecurity issues, are very specific. And for example, as you can imagine, cybersecurity of issues of a hospital are completely not the same as those of local authorities who manage water, for example, or those in production or distribution of electricity. So with ABM campaigns, our main goals is to show each sector how we can address their expectations and also what risk, cyber risks they face.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So now, Aurore,
Yes, Frédéric.
could you describe us in a few words the ABM campaigns that you're running with Karine and Stormshield?
Yeah, well, I would say from the beginning, and it's going to be counting in years now. So again, thank you, Karine, for your for your
Trust.
Yes, trust, of course. Well, we support Stormshield by building campaigns at the European level. And as Karine just said, it was very, above all, vertically. So we work hand in hand with Karine and her teams to build successful ABM campaign, both in terms of content offered to audiences and in terms of results, of course. But among all these campaigns, the example of the water industry campaign that you can see on your screen is the most interesting in terms of data sourcing, market attack in collaboration with your local country managers, content also to be developed to achieve.
About content
we're going to talk about content, exactly. But, you know, to achieve our objectives and, of course, the media plan, which is really important for us.
Okay, so now back to Karine. So what are the first steps building a campaign?
Yeah, for me, the first step is to be really clear about your objectives and then not to minimize the preparation of the campaign. So before deciding to launch an ABM campaign, it's really important to ensure that you have a good vision of the target audience and the message you want to get across. And then it's also really important to work with the other teams. It could be sales team, business experts, or product marketing, for example. And this just to make sure that your campaign is really consistent with the company's business objectives and also with the specific solutions you can offer to this vertical market. But also working with the other teams help us to better understand who are the actors, which functions to target, and also what are their expectations, specific expectations. Regarding water management, for example, our target were CIOs, but also production, operational, technical manager, and the water management sector is very complex because it can be subcontracted, to private companies, or it could be managed in-house by local authorities, depending on the size of the municipality. So it's really complicated. And it was a challenge for, or especially for the German market.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
We're going to talk a little bit later when we're going to talk
Okay.
about data, but yes, it was. And again in France too.
Yeah, again.
Okay, so maybe to both of you, we can jump on the content because we were just, saying that in ABM campaign, content is really important. And it's the key.
It's the key.
It's the key. So can you tell us a little bit more about the way you managed to build the right content?
Yeah, of course. At Stormshield, we only launch an ABM campaign when we have in-house contents, not just to generating leads, but also to continue the conversation and the conversion, if we can, with marketing automation scenario. And again, this content is really co-constructed with the other teams, and they are fully involved in our projects. It can be white papers, it can be business cases, expert opinion, mini websites, and so on. And as our experts are in France, we produce them in French, and then after we localize it, and with the help of our local country managers for proofreading, and adapt the contents if necessary.
Okay, okay, great. Anything to add on that matter?
I think we're going to do it a
You're
little bit
gonna do it
later on. Yes.
Okay, so now my question for you, Aurore.
Yes.
How do you deploy the campaigns worldwide?
Well, you won't be surprised, Frédéric, but if I tell you the key is data, of course you're not.
Yes.
And especially finding the right data. This is why we strongly encourage our customers to work hand in hand with the salespeople who have the field knowledge. Sales and marketing alignment is key in all stages of an ABM campaign, even more so than in traditional campaigns. So this is what Karine does very, very well with Stormshield. It's not because she's here I'm going to say it, but again, it's true. This is on a daily basis, actually. So to come back to the data, if we do not have it, and Karine talked about the water industry campaign, but if we do not have it, of course we have partners that we can rely on, either that with existing data. So thank you, database. Thank you all of our media partners who do have subscribers, and therefore we're going to do syndication, emailing, and stuff like that, or build webinar with them again. Or with data that we built, and that what happened on the water industry campaigns. We had to launch a telemarketing campaign before the actual campaign. Otherwise, we couldn't find the data. They weren't on LinkedIn. Sorry, LinkedIn. They were, but we couldn't find it, and it's going to be. It would have been a mess for the media desk to find the right targets because we had so many, as Karine mentioned. So telemarketing campaign was the key. Again, if we do not have the data, and regarding the data, we have to align sales and marketing, but also at the stage of the briefing and all the validation, because obviously they have a word to say and they know their markets and they know the clients or the prospects. So this is really important for them to be involved, and of course for us to have them on our side rather than get the intel and, okay, what I'm going to do with that. It's not the right intel.
Yeah, that's where collaboration and co-construction is really important.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay. And so now, because we're talking about collaboration and co-construction, just a little word maybe on the personalized approach. How do you manage? Did you manage that, or do you? Because the campaigns are still running. We're not talking about past campaigns.
No, we're not.
They are running.
There are some alive now. Well, the borderline of any ABM campaign is, of course, personalization of content, and that is mandatory. You already know this if you follow us on LinkedIn. If you don't, subscribe right now. If you already attended webinars where we talked about ABM, again, if you haven't, we do have replays. You just have to check our website. And of course, Laurent Olivier, which is one of our associate director, wrote a wonderful book regarding ABM, and with Gabrielle Shapiro for the inbound marketing. You can find it, if you haven't read it, in all good bookshops and a digital platform that I won't say the name, but everyone knows it. More seriously, and to come back to Storm Shield, as we are not on ABM by targeted accounts, but by markets, we are not on customization that is strongly pushed out, but a customization that must be able to meet all the types of companies within the sectors. So it's a challenge that the Storm Shield team, content teams, succeed in winning by always, I would say, positioning themselves on the needs of the sector and how Storm Shield can support them. And therefore, you understand, of course, that with Storm Shield, we are not on a market customization approach. Well, we are on a market customization approach, but not on multi-targets in terms of job titles. So we do not have to share the same content with people that do not do the same job. They all are in IT, and they all need and OT. Yes, IT and OT. Shame on me, I know that. But as you can understand, this is not for HR or I would say financial team or the IT.
With a special special message.
Well, the same message, but with several angles.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, can we talk a little bit about budgets, maybe?
The famous
yes, because I'm pretty sure everybody is keen on having a little bit of information about that, because that's part of the project.
The process and recipe.
I will not give my budget, but in fact, just to explain. In fact, in our annual marketing plan, each year we define how much content we are able to produce, and then how many campaigns we can run, and to define the global budget. And then we dispatch this budget by topic and by countries according to importance and priority criteria. And it's with these envelopes that we work with really closely with RSC to study each campaign in details.
Okay.
And again, I'm not going to tell the envelope, but when I received from Karine her budget envelopes, my main goal is, of course, to offer the most cost-effective plan to meet the KPIs. And often I propose 360 plans combining social networks and other channels to leverage opportunities and achieve, of course, our goal.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the transparency on that part. And can we just add a little word on KPIs? because these
The
ones
second
are...
famous question.
I promise it's the last one.
And again, I have a client that is aligned with me, so I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Good.
fine with it.
Good. So Karine, maybe first?
Yes, for me, the objectives of ABM campaigns are not just about lead generation. For Storm Shield, it's also brand visibility in specific markets. It's also lobbying. In cybersecurity, we have to do a lot of lobbying and raising awareness in our targeted sectors. And if our KPIs were only based on the conversions, it will be really difficult because we are on an indirect sales model and we have very long sales cycle. And as everybody know, you can't say that this opportunity is due to one campaign. It's due to a lot of marketing actions and also a lot of sales actions. So,
Okay. Okay.
Repetition is key, and what Karine just said is very, very important for me. In ABM, we often think that it is only a lead activation campaign and only the number of leads counts. This can be a mistake because if we do ABM campaign, it is either to attack a new market or to develop an account. In all cases, I would say we want to make ourselves known to a prospect. So awareness and consideration are essentials and must be part of the KPIs that you're going to monitor. So you will have understood that the last difficulty of all this is to overcome, to monitor the leads while securing them without forgetting to have an eye on the number of impressions and the CTR. But this is all thanks to paid media campaign. But this is a topic that you're going to handle with Mohammed right now, I think.
Yes, it's right now. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It was really nice to have you both on this case, which is really interesting. So now, Mohammed, can we talk a little bit about activation, media activation? And so just to remember, the question was, and how to reach targeted audience.
The right audience, yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Aurore. You have mentioned, and thank you, Fred.
You
have mentioned a lot of things that I wanted to say. Like
you're welcome.
Like before we start with anything, before we set like our goals, before we expect anything, after we create our target audience, after we create our content, our messages, our location, we need to begin by awareness. We need to introduce our brand, our services to all the people before asking them to give any action. So we start with awareness with a broad audience. We get impressions, video views, get some engagement. After that, we jump on to the next step, which is consideration. And for consideration, after we gathered all the data, we can create a broad IBM list. We can specify the skills, the interests of our audience. And after that, we can give a qualitative content like articles, testimonials, videos like case studies, success stories. And with these two steps, we can jump on to the final steps which is acquisition, the most important, to gather leads, to gather conversions, actions. So we create a narrow ABM list. We select all the enterprises, the contact person that we need to target, that are the most interested, because in diffusing campaigns on digital media, we can know who's interested and who's not. We can exclude the people that are not interested, and we can keep the ones that are willing to engage. So the last step, we create retargeting in order to get leads, retargeting by video views, website visitors, and this way we can get the actions.
We love retargeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It makes my job so easier. So
Come to
right
us,
now,
we retarget.
exactly. So in this slide, I want to just I just want to say, how do we trade a campaign?
Yes.
Like after we choose all the steps, we focus on the content, messages, images, videos. We focus on the KPIs,
Yeah.
so that we
course.
can measure if our campaign is working or not. So we focus on the click-through rates, the taux d'engagement, which is the engagement rate, cost per action. So this is how we can measure our success. And after that, the format, which format works well with each objective.
Of
And
course.
finally, the targeting, and the most importantly, ABM list and retargeting by many, many aspects.
And what we love to do is A/B testing.
Yes, of course. We A/B test with content, we A/B test with targeting, we A/B test with messages, geolocations, anything. And in this slide, very quickly, I want to say that after our experience with many campaigns, we noticed that some formats work best
better,
with
yes.
a specific objective. So with single image, we can get actions, conversions, leads most importantly, because it's simple, direct, and call to action. Fill the form,
Easy.
get the ebook.
You don't have to
Direct.
think.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. For videos, it works best with awareness and to narrow down the audience to create retargeting. So I always recommend videos for awareness campaigns at the beginning to introduce the mark, the brand, and to jump on to the next steps. And carousel for e-commerce or to get some clicks, to get some conversions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I like
because
this.
it's a broader format.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Do you have any example? Maybe?
yes, of course. Last month we worked with one of our dearest clients, which is Waters. It's the leading enterprise to give softwares, solutions, research solutions for laboratories, scientists. So we worked with them in EMEA region and in APAC. So in the EMEA region, the main objective was leads. So it was in Europe, Middle East, and North Africa countries. The awareness campaign was during the first month, but it wasn't the awareness campaign because in the last year we gathered all the data. We did a lot of awareness with them. So right now we can say it's consideration. After that, we went from broad to narrow in terms of audience, retargeting by video views, visits, and we got 25 leads in 1 month for 74 euros, which is half of the market average. This is how we can measure our success.
Low price,
And the campaign is ongoing. It didn't end, so we can get more audience with and more leads.
Okay. And
So
you got
next
another
one is Waters IPAC. It was event subscription. It wasn't leads. So it was for the English-speaking countries in Asia and Oceania, so Australia and New Zealand. Same thing, awareness for 2 weeks. After that, for 1 month, conversions. We retargeted the people who saw 50% of our video, so that we know that they are interested. The website visitors, and right now there's a new retargeting category, which is to target all the people who engaged with the post, so comment, like, or click on the post.
Nice.
So it's very new. It's really
Okay.
new, and I'm trying it
We
with
love
all
it.
my
You're
clients.
We'll do it.
I'm trying it right now with
Okay,
Storm
thank
Shield. So we will see what happens.
This is a scoop, live.
Yes, exactly. So we got 212 conversions in 1 month, and the cost per conversion was 34. The market average is 70, 80.
Yeah.
So it was a success.
Yes,
Yeah.
great.
So
Well
this
done,
funnel
Mohammed.
is always,
Do the
always,
same with
always.
my future company.
Yes, of course, it will be a pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, Great, thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
all
So
of
now
you.
it's time to wrap it up,
Yes, of course.
like we
It
say.
is,
So I hope we answered a few questions and we gave a good idea of what ABM campaigns can be. Just honestly, if there is something we can say to the first question, the main question, which was is there a difference between international ABM campaigns and local ones? Honestly, there are not, except language, number of countries, and specifications within the countries market-wise, but
Yes,
apart
legally or something
and
like
legal and legal aspects on top of
like,
it.
GDPR.
Of course.
also,
GDPR.
yes.
GDPR maybe a little bit of a pain, let's say, yes. But globally, it's the same. So the magic, there is no magical recipe on ABM campaign. Everything stands into collaboration, co-construction, as we say.
And engage the country managers also. Yeah.
Yes, so on international
Yeah.
side, yes, engage the country managers, like Karin's saying, and having good data, alignment with marketing and sales,
Yes.
and it should be a great success if we do. So thank you very much
Thank you.
again,
You're
and if anyone needs more, please contact us. We'll be happy
Subscribe.
to answer your questions or deepen the subject with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.